The bedroom was dark except for the soft glow of the digital clock on the nightstand. 2:58 a.m. Alton Sims lay perfectly still, eyes closed, pretending to sleep. His heart pounded so hard he was sure his wife Rachel could hear it through the mattress. Then he heard it, the slight rustle of sheets, the careful movement of someone trying not to wake their partner. Rachel was getting up again. Alton kept his breathing steady and slow, fighting every instinct to open his eyes and demand answers. Through barely opened eyelids, he watched Rachel's silhouette move across their Seattle bedroom. She grabbed her phone from the dresser, its screen illuminating her face for just a moment. Even in the dim light, Alton could see the expression on her face. Nervous, guilty, excited. The bedroom door opened slowly, then closed with a soft click. Alton's eyes shot open. He stared at the ceiling, his mind racing. This was the 7th night in a row. 7 nights of Rachel sneaking out of their bed at exactly 3 a.m. 7 nights of hushed phone calls she thought he didn't know about. 7 nights of lies. He grabbed his own phone. 2:59 a.m. He had 1 minute before Rachel would make her secret call, just like she had done every night this week. Alton threw off the covers and moved toward the door, his feet silent on the carpet. Their house was a modest 3-bedroom in the suburbs, bought 5 years ago when they first got married. Back when things were simple, back when Rachel told him everything, or so he thought. He reached the hallway and paused. Downstairs he could hear Rachel's voice. Soft, almost a whisper, but there. His stomach twisted into knots. Was she having an affair? The thought had kept him awake every night for the past week. Rachel was beautiful, smart, and lately, distant. Very distant. She came home late from work. She was always on her phone. She smiled less. And now, these secret 3 a.m. phone calls. Alton descended the stairs slowly, careful to avoid the third step that always creaked. The house was silent except for Rachel's muffled voice coming from the study. He moved closer, his back pressed against the wall. "I can't keep doing this," Rachel whispered into the phone. "It's killing me inside." Alton's heart stopped. "No, he doesn't know anything," Rachel continued. "He's completely clueless. I feel terrible lying to him every single day, but what choice do I have?" Alton felt like someone had punched him in the chest. His hands trembled. His vision blurred. 7 years of marriage, 7 years of love, trust, and partnership, all destroyed by whatever Rachel was saying on that phone. I know," Rachel said, her voice cracking slightly. "But Alton is a good man. He doesn't deserve this. He thinks everything is fine between us." Alton couldn't take it anymore. He stepped around the corner and into the study doorway. Rachel stood by the window, her back to him, phone pressed to her ear. "Rachel," Alton said, his voice cold. Rachel spun around, her face going white. The phone nearly slipped from her hand. "Alton, who are you talking to?" Alton demanded, stepping into the room. "And don't lie to me again." Rachel's mouth opened, but no words came out. She looked at her phone, then back at Alton, panic written all over her face. "This is the 7th night," Alton continued, his voice rising. 7 nights of you sneaking out of our bed at 3 a.m. to make secret phone calls. Do you think I'm stupid, Rachel?" "Alton, please, I can explain." "Then explain," Alton shouted. "Explain why my wife is hiding things from me. Explain why you're whispering on the phone at 3 in the morning, telling someone I'm clueless. Explain why you just said I don't deserve this." Before we continue with this story, I need to ask you something important. If this story is keeping you on the edge of your seat, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. It takes literally 1 second, but it means everything to me and helps me bring you more incredible stories like this one. And while you're at it, smash that like button. Let's show YouTube that real storytelling still matters. Oh, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Are you in Texas, New York, London, or somewhere else entirely? I love connecting with you all. Now let's get back to Alton and Rachel because things are about to get intense. Rachel set her phone down on the desk, her hands shaking. "Alton, it's not what you think." "Not what I think?" Alton laughed bitterly. "You're making secret phone calls at 3 a.m., lying to me, and acting strange for weeks. What else am I supposed to think? I'm not having an affair, Rachel said quickly. Then what is it? Alton demanded. Because from where I'm standing, all the signs are there. Rachel looked away, tears forming in her eyes. I can't tell you. Those 4 words hit Alton harder than any confirmation of an affair could have. You can't tell me? Your husband? Not yet, Rachel whispered. Not yet? Alton's voice was full of pain. We've been married for 7 years, Rachel. 7 years. We promised each other no secrets. We promised to always communicate. And now you're standing here telling me you can't tell me something? Rachel wiped her eyes. I know how this looks. I know you're hurt and confused, but I need you to trust me just a little bit longer. Trust you? Alton stepped closer. You want me to trust you while you sneak around behind my back? While you make secret phone calls and lie to my face every single day? I haven't lied to you, Rachel protested weakly. Lying by omission is still lying, Alton shot back. What are you involved in, Rachel? Are you in some kind of trouble? Do you owe someone money? No, nothing like that. Then what? Alton pleaded, his anger giving way to desperation. Please, Rachel, just tell me what's going on. Whatever it is, we can handle it together. Rachel looked at him with such sadness in her eyes. I want to tell you, Alton. You have no idea how much I want to tell you. But if I tell you now, everything will be ruined. Everything is already ruined, Alton shouted. Our marriage is falling apart because you won't talk to me. Our marriage is not falling apart, Rachel said firmly, stepping toward him. I love you, Alton. I love you more than anything in this world. Then prove it, Alton said, his voice breaking. Prove it by telling me the truth. Rachel reached for his hand, but Alton pulled away. The hurt on her face was visible, but he couldn't comfort her. Not now. Not when she was keeping such huge secrets from him. 2 weeks, Rachel said quietly. I just need 2 more weeks. After that, I promise everything will make sense. 2 weeks, Alton repeated, shaking his head in disbelief. You want me to wait 2 more weeks while you continue making secret phone calls and lying to me? I'm asking you to trust me, Rachel said, tears streaming down her face now. I know I don't deserve it right now, but I'm begging you, Alton. Please just give me 2 more weeks. Alton stared at his wife, the woman he had fallen in love with in college, the woman he had promised to spend his life with. Right now, she felt like a complete stranger. Who were you talking to just now? Alton asked, his voice quiet but firm. Rachel looked at her phone, then back at Alton. I can't tell you that either. Alton felt something break inside him. Get out. What? Get out of this room, Alton said, pointing to the door. I can't look at you right now. Alton, please, I said get out. Alton's voice echoed through the house. Rachel grabbed her phone and left the study, sobbing. Alton heard her footsteps on the stairs, then the bedroom door closing. He stood alone in the study, his entire world crashing down around him. He sank into the desk chair and buried his face in his hands. How had they gotten here? Just a month ago, everything seemed fine. They laughed together, made plans for the future, talked about maybe starting a family soon. And now Rachel was keeping secrets so big she couldn't even share them with him. Alton noticed Rachel's laptop was still open on the desk. Without thinking, he pulled it closer. The screen was locked, but he knew her password. They had always known each other's passwords. Another sign of their trust and transparency. Or at least, what he thought was transparency. His finger hovered over the keyboard. Should he? This felt like a violation of privacy, but hadn't Rachel already violated their marriage by keeping secrets? He typed in the password. The laptop opened to her email inbox. Alton's eyes scanned the subject lines. Work emails mostly. Some from her sister. A few promotional messages. Then he saw it. An email from someone named Marcus Weber. The subject line read, Tomorrow night, final details. Alton's blood ran cold. He clicked on the email. Rachel, everything is set for tomorrow night, 3 a.m. as usual. Make sure Alton doesn't follow you this time. We can't risk him finding out before everything is ready. See you tomorrow, M. Alton read the email 3 times, his hands clenched into fists. Who was Marcus Weber? And what was happening tomorrow night at 3 a.m. that Alton couldn't know about? He scrolled through more emails, finding several more from this Marcus person. All of them were vague, talking about plans and keeping Alton in the dark and the big reveal. The big reveal? What was Rachel planning? Alton's phone buzzed in his pocket. A text from his best friend, Kevin. "You still up, man? Haven't heard from you in days. Everything okay?" Alton had been avoiding Kevin's calls. How could he tell his best friend that his marriage was falling apart? That his wife was sneaking around and making secret plans with some guy named Marcus? He didn't reply. Instead, he continued digging through Rachel's laptop. He opened her browser history, multiple searches about Seattle hotels, flight schedules, and something that made his stomach drop. How to tell your husband difficult news. Alton slammed the laptop shut. He couldn't do this anymore. The suspicion was eating him alive. He grabbed his jacket from the coat rack and his car keys from the bowl by the door. He needed to drive, to think, to figure out what the hell was happening to his life. As he started his car, he looked up at their bedroom window. The light was on. Rachel was probably awake, crying, hating herself for hurting him. Good, Alton thought bitterly. She should feel terrible. He drove through the empty Seattle streets, the city quiet at this ungodly hour. His phone kept buzzing with texts from Rachel, but he ignored them all. What could she possibly say that would make this better? An hour later, Alton found himself parked outside Kevin's apartment building. Before he could talk himself out of it, he called Kevin's number. "Alton?" Kevin answered, his voice groggy. "Dude, it's 4:30 in the morning." "I need to talk," Alton said. "Can I come up?" "Yeah, of course. Come up." 10 minutes later, Alton sat on Kevin's couch, a cup of coffee in his hands, telling his best friend everything. The secret phone calls, the distance, the mysterious email from Marcus Weber. Kevin listened silently, his expression growing more concerned with each detail. "So what do you think?" Alton asked when he finished. "Am I crazy, or is Rachel having an affair?" Kevin was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know, man. Rachel doesn't seem like the type to cheat." "That's what I thought too," Alton said. "But what else could it be? Secret phone calls with a man named Marcus? Plans she can't tell me about?" "Maybe she's planning a surprise for you," Kevin suggested. "Like a party or something." Alton shook his head. "For what? Our anniversary isn't for months. My birthday just passed. And why would a surprise party require her to make phone calls at 3 a.m. for a week straight?" Kevin had no answer for that. "Tomorrow night is apparently the final details," Alton continued. "Whatever Rachel is planning, it's happening soon." "So what are you going to do?" Kevin asked. Alton set down his coffee cup, his jaw set with determination. "Tomorrow night at 3 a.m., I'm following her. I'm done being kept in the dark. I'm done being lied to. Whatever Rachel is hiding, I'm going to find out the truth." If you're still watching at this point, drop a comment with, "I'm enjoying this story." Let's see who's truly following this beautiful story. The next day moved in slow motion. Alton went through all the motions of a normal day: coffee, shower, work. But his mind was elsewhere. Every time his phone buzzed with a text from Rachel, his stomach twisted with a mixture of anger, hurt, and anxiety. "Rachel, we need to talk when you get home." "Rachel, please don't shut me out." "Rachel, I love you, Alton. Please remember that." Alton didn't respond to any of them. He sat in his office at the software company where he worked as a project manager, staring at his computer screen without really seeing it. His colleague, Amy, knocked on his doorframe. "Hey, Alton, you okay? You've been staring at that same email for 20 minutes. Alton snapped back to reality. "Yeah, sorry, just distracted." "Everything all right at home?" Amy asked, genuine concern in her voice. Alton wanted to scream, "No, everything is not all right." But instead, he just nodded and forced a smile. "Everything's fine." After Amy left, Alton pulled up a search engine and typed in Marcus Weber, Seattle. Hundreds of results appeared. Marcus Weber at a law firm. Marcus Weber who taught at the University of Washington. Marcus Weber who owned a restaurant downtown. Which one was Rachel secretly communicating with? Alton spent his lunch break creating a list of all the Marcus Webers in Seattle. He even considered hiring a private investigator, but quickly dismissed the idea. He would find out the truth himself tonight. At 5 p.m., Alton drove home, his hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. Rachel's car was already in the driveway. He sat in his car for a full 5 minutes, gathering the courage to go inside. When he finally walked through the front door, the house smelled like Rachel's famous lasagna, his favorite. She was trying to smooth things over with food. Rachel appeared from the kitchen, wearing an apron, her eyes red and puffy from crying. "Alton, you're home." "I am," Alton said coldly, walking past her toward the stairs. "Wait," Rachel called. "I made dinner, your favorite." "I'm not hungry," Alton lied. He was starving, but eating with Rachel and pretending everything was okay felt impossible. "Alton, please," Rachel pleaded. "Can we just talk? Can we just sit down and—" "Talk?" Alton spun around. "You want to talk now? What happened to, I can't tell you, and I need 2 more weeks?" Rachel's face crumpled. "I know I hurt you. I know you're angry, but I'm not doing any of this to hurt you on purpose." "Then tell me what's going on," Alton demanded. "Right now, Rachel. No more waiting, no more secrets. Tell me who Marcus Weber is and why you're making secret plans with him." Rachel's eyes widened. "How do you know about Marcus?" "So you admit it," Alton said, his voice rising. "You're in contact with some man named Marcus, making secret plans behind my back." "Alton, it's not—" "Stop saying it's not what I think," Alton shouted. "Just tell me the truth for once." Rachel stood there, tears streaming down her face, her mouth opening and closing but no words coming out. "That's what I thought," Alton said bitterly. He turned and climbed the stairs, slamming the bedroom door behind him. He didn't come down for dinner. At 7 p.m., he heard Rachel knock softly on the door. "Alton, I'm leaving a plate outside the door for you. Please eat something." Alton said nothing. At 9 p.m., Rachel knocked again. "I'm going to bed early. I have an early morning tomorrow. I love you, Alton." Alton clenched his jaw. She was still lying. She didn't have an early morning tomorrow. She had a secret plan at 3 a.m. He waited until he heard Rachel's movements in the bedroom stop, and her breathing even out. Then he quietly opened the door and grabbed the plate of cold lasagna. He ate it quickly, then set his alarm for 2:45 a.m. The hours crawled by. Alton lay on the living room couch, fully dressed, staring at the ceiling. His mind raced with possibilities, each one worse than the last. At 2:45 a.m., his alarm vibrated silently in his pocket. He turned it off and sat up, his heart pounding. At 2:57 a.m., he heard movement upstairs. Rachel was getting up. Alton moved quickly but quietly to the front hall closet, leaving the door open just a crack so he could see the staircase. He watched as Rachel descended the stairs, fully dressed in jeans and a nice blouse. Not the kind of clothes someone wears for a secret phone call at home. She was going somewhere. Rachel grabbed her purse and car keys, then opened the front door as quietly as possible. Alton waited until he heard her car start before slipping out the back door. He ran around the side of the house just in time to see Rachel's Toyota pulling out of the driveway. Alton jumped into his own car and followed at a distance, his hands shaking on the steering wheel. The streets were empty at this hour, making it harder to follow without being obvious. He stayed back, keeping Rachel's taillights just barely in view. Rachel drove for 20 minutes, heading toward downtown Seattle. Alton's mind raced. Was she meeting Marcus at his apartment? At a hotel? Then Rachel's car turned into the parking lot of Seattle General Hospital. A hospital? Alton's stomach dropped. Was Rachel sick? Was that the secret? Was she dying and hadn't told him? He parked in a far corner of the lot and watched as Rachel got out of her car and hurried toward the main entrance. Alton followed, his heart in his throat. Inside the hospital, the fluorescent lights were harsh and bright. Alton hung back, watching as Rachel approached the front desk. I'm here to see Marcus Weber, Rachel told the receptionist. He's expecting me. The receptionist checked her computer. Fourth floor, room 412. Alton felt like he'd been hit by a truck. Marcus Weber was a patient here. Was Rachel having an affair with a patient? That made no sense. He followed Rachel to the elevators, staying out of sight. When the elevator doors closed, Alton watched the numbers climb. Fourth floor, just as the receptionist had said. Alton took the stairs 2 at a time, reaching the 4th floor just as Rachel turned a corner toward room 412. He moved quietly, staying far enough back to remain unseen, but close enough to observe. Rachel knocked on the door of room 412. A moment later, a young man's voice called out, "Come in." Alton crept closer, positioning himself behind a medicine cart where he had a partial view through the door Rachel had left slightly ajar. Inside the room, a young man who looked about 19 or 20 sat up in his hospital bed. He had dark hair, kind eyes, and a warm smile despite the obvious pain medication tubes attached to his arm. "Rachel," the young man said, his face lighting up. "You came." "Of course I came," Rachel said, rushing to his bedside and taking his hand. "How are you feeling today, Marcus?" "Better, now that you're here," Marcus replied. Alton's fists clenched. He was watching his wife hold hands with another man, a younger man no less. "Did you talk to Alton yet?" Marcus asked. Rachel shook her head, fresh tears forming. "I tried, but it's so hard, Marcus. How do I tell him something like this?" "He deserves to know," Marcus said gently. "He's your husband, and after what happened, he has every right to the truth." "I know," Rachel whispered. "I'm just so scared of how he'll react. What if he can't handle it? What if it destroys us?" "Then he's not the man you told me he was," Marcus said. "You always said Alton was strong, understanding, and loving. Trust that." Alton's mind reeled. What were they talking about? What truth was so terrible that Rachel thought it would destroy their marriage? "The surgery is scheduled for next week," Marcus continued. "After that, everything changes. You can't keep hiding this from Alton until then. It's not fair to him or to you." "Surgery?" Alton's confusion deepened. Rachel wiped her eyes. "You're right. I'll tell him tomorrow. Tonight, actually. When I get home, I'll wake him up and tell him everything." "Good," Marcus said. "And Rachel, thank you for everything. You've literally saved my life." Rachel squeezed his hand. "You don't have to thank me, Marcus. This is something I needed to do." If you're still watching at this point, drop a comment with, "I'm enjoying this story." Let's see who's truly following this beautiful story. Alton couldn't take it anymore. He stepped into the doorway, his presence commanding attention. "Saved his life? Rachel, what the hell is going on?" Rachel spun around, her face going white. "Alton, what are you followed me?" "Of course I followed you," Alton shouted, not caring that they were in a hospital. "My wife has been making secret phone calls at 3 a.m., sneaking out of our house, and apparently visiting another man in the hospital." "Alton, I can explain." "Then explain," Alton demanded, stepping fully into the room. "Explain why you're holding this man's hand. Explain why he just thanked you for saving his life. Explain why everyone in my life seems to know more about what's happening than I do." Marcus looked between Alton and Rachel, understanding dawning on his face. "Rachel, you really didn't tell him yet?" "Stay out of this," Alton snapped at Marcus, then turned back to Rachel. "Is this why you've been acting so strange? Are you having an affair with a patient?" "What? No." Rachel looked horrified. "Alton, Marcus is not. We're not. It's nothing like that." "Then what is it?" Alton's voice broke. "Please, Rachel, just tell me the truth. I can't take this anymore." Rachel took a deep breath, glancing at Marcus, who nodded encouragingly. "Alton," Rachel began, her voice shaking. "Marcus is your brother." The room went completely silent. Alton stared at Rachel, certain he had misheard. "What did you just say?" "Marcus is your biological half-brother," Rachel repeated, "from your father's side." Alton felt the room spin. "That's impossible. I'm an only child. My father died when I was 5. He never—" "Your father had another son before he married your mother," Rachel explained quickly, her words tumbling out. Marcus's mother was your father's college girlfriend. She got pregnant, but they broke up before Marcus was born. Your father never knew he had another son. Alton grabbed the doorframe for support. This doesn't make any sense. Marcus spoke up, his voice gentle. Alton, I only found out about you a few months ago. My mom recently told me the truth about my father on her deathbed. She gave me his name and I started searching. That's how I found you. And Rachel. You contacted my wife? Alton looked at Rachel incredulously. He contacted me through my work email, Rachel explained. He explained everything, showed me the DNA test he had done using samples from your father's old belongings that your mother kept. Alton, the test was 99.9% match. Marcus is your brother. Alton shook his head, unable to process this information. Why didn't you tell me? Because of this. Rachel gestured to Marcus's hospital bed. Marcus has kidney failure. He's been on the transplant list for 2 years, but he's running out of time. The final piece clicked into place. Alton looked at Marcus, really looked at him for the first time. And now that he knew, he could see it. Marcus had his father's eyes, his father's smile, his father's bone structure. You need a kidney, Alton said slowly. Marcus nodded. I didn't want to reach out to you like this. I didn't want to show up in your life demanding a body part. But I'm dying, Alton. And as my brother, you're the best match possible for a transplant. Rachel moved toward Alton. That's why I've been secretive. Marcus wanted to meet you first, to see if there was a connection, to see if you would even want to know him. But then his condition worsened, and we ran out of time. The doctors said he needed surgery within the month, or he might not make it. Alton's legs felt weak. He sank into a chair by the door. You've known for months that I have a brother who's dying, and you didn't tell me? I was trying to protect you, Rachel said desperately. I knew this would be overwhelming. I knew you would feel pressured to donate a kidney, and I didn't want you to make that decision out of obligation. So instead you lied to me, Alton said quietly. You snuck around, made secret plans, and let me think you were having an affair. I'm sorry, Rachel whispered, tears flowing freely now. I'm so sorry. I handled this all wrong. Alton looked at Marcus, who was watching him with a mixture of hope and resignation. Why did you agree to this? To Rachel keeping this from me? I didn't want to disrupt your life, Marcus said honestly. You have a wife, a career, a whole life that doesn't include me. I'm a stranger who happens to share half your DNA. I told Rachel that if we couldn't find a natural way to tell you, then I would just stay out of your life. But you're dying, Alton said. Yes, Marcus confirmed. I'm dying, and I've made peace with that. I would love to know my brother, to have a relationship with you, but I would never demand that you give me a kidney just because we're related. The room fell silent again. Alton sat there, his mind trying to wrap around everything he'd just learned. He had a brother, a dying brother who needed his help. When is the surgery scheduled? Alton asked. Rachel and Marcus exchanged glances. Next Tuesday, Rachel answered. If we can find a donor by then. The doctors say my body can't hold out much longer, Marcus added. My kidneys are functioning at less than 10%. I'm on dialysis 3 times a week, but it's not enough. Alton stood up slowly. I need time to process all of this. Of course, Marcus said quickly. I don't expect, but I'm not saying no, Alton interrupted, looking directly at Marcus. You're my brother. I just found out I have a brother. That's huge. And the fact that you're sick, that you need help, that I might be able to help you. He trailed off, overwhelmed. Rachel stepped toward Alton, tentatively touching his arm. Are you okay? No, Alton said honestly. I'm not okay. I'm confused, angry, overwhelmed, and a dozen other things I don't even have words for. I understand, Rachel said. Do you? Alton looked at her. Because you've had months to process this information. You've had time to meet Marcus, to understand the situation, to prepare. I've had 5 minutes. You're right, Rachel admitted. I'm sorry. I should have told you immediately. Alton ran his hands through his hair. I need to go home. I need to think. Will you come back? Marcus asked quietly. Even if you decide not to donate, I'd still like to know you. To have a brother, even for a little while. Alton looked at this young man, his brother, lying in a hospital bed, fighting for his life. He saw his father's eyes looking back at him, and something in his chest tightened. I'll come back, Alton promised. Give me a day to wrap my head around all of this. As Alton turned to leave, Marcus called out, Alton, thank you for not walking away immediately. Alton nodded but didn't turn around. He couldn't. If he looked at Marcus again, he might break down completely. Rachel followed him out into the hallway. Alton, wait. He stopped but didn't face her. I know you're angry with me, Rachel said, and you have every right to be. I mishandled this situation terribly, but I need you to know that everything I did because I love you. I was trying to protect you from this impossible decision. Alton finally turned to look at her. By lying to me? By making me think you were cheating? By destroying my trust in you? I know, Rachel's voice broke. I know, and I'm sorry. I was so focused on protecting you that I didn't see how much I was hurting you. I need space, Alton said. From you, from Marcus, from all of this. I'm going to Kevin's house. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'll come home when I'm ready. Okay, Rachel whispered. I understand. If you're still watching at this point, drop a comment with, I'm enjoying this story. Let's see who's truly following this beautiful story. Alton drove to Kevin's apartment in a daze. It was 4:30 a.m., but he didn't care. He needed his best friend. Kevin answered the door in his pajamas, his hair standing up in all directions. Alton? Again? What happened? I have a brother, Alton said flatly, walking into the apartment. You have a what? For the next hour, Alton explained everything. Kevin listened, his expression shifting from confusion to shock to disbelief and back to shock again. So the secret phone calls, the sneaking around, all of it was because your wife found out you have a dying brother who needs a kidney, Kevin summarized. That's the situation, Alton confirmed. And you're angry at Rachel for not telling you? Wouldn't you be? Alton challenged. Kevin thought for a moment. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, yeah, she should have told you, but she was in an impossible situation. Tell you about your brother and risk you feeling obligated to donate an organ, or keep it secret and try to find another way. There is no other way, Alton said. Marcus is running out of time. The transplant list hasn't produced a match in 2 years. So what are you going to do? Alton buried his face in his hands. I have no idea. Do you want to donate your kidney? Kevin asked. I don't know, Alton admitted. Part of me feels like I should. He's my brother, Kevin. My brother. I didn't even know I had a brother. And now I find out he exists and he's dying? How do I not help him? But I'm terrified, Alton confessed. What if something goes wrong during surgery? What if I donate my kidney and he still dies? What if I end up with health complications? Rachel and I want to start a family soon. What if this affects that? Those are all valid concerns, Kevin said. And I'm still so angry at Rachel, Alton continued. She lied to me for months. She let me think the worst. She broke my trust. But she did it trying to protect you, Kevin pointed out. Doesn't that count for something? Does it? Alton looked at his friend. Where's the line between protection and betrayal? Kevin didn't have an answer. Alton stayed at Kevin's apartment for the rest of that day. He called in sick to work, ignored Rachel's texts, and spent hours online researching kidney donations. The success rates, the recovery process, the potential complications. He absorbed it all. By evening, he had made a decision. He drove back to the hospital, finding Marcus in the same room. This time, Rachel wasn't there. Marcus looked surprised to see him. Alton, I didn't expect you back so soon. Alton pulled up a chair and sat down. Tell me about yourself, about our father, about your life. Marcus's eyes lit up. For the next 2 hours, they talked. Marcus shared stories his mother had told him about their father, a passionate man who loved jazz music and had dreams of becoming a writer before settling into accounting. He showed Alton pictures his mother had kept, photos of a young man Alton barely recognized but desperately wanted to know. In return, Alton shared his own memories of their father, the smell of his cologne, the way he used to sing off-key while making breakfast. The last day Alton saw him before the car accident that took his life. He would have loved to know he had two sons, Alton said quietly. I think so too, Marcus agreed. As the evening wore on, Alton found himself genuinely liking Marcus. His brother was funny, intelligent, and despite his illness, optimistic. They discovered they both loved the same movies, both hated mushrooms, and both had an irrational fear of pigeons. I'm going to do it, Alton said suddenly. I'm going to give you my kidney. Marcus's eyes widened. Alton, you don't have to. I know I don't have to, Alton interrupted, but I want to. You're my brother, Marcus. Maybe I've only known you for a day, but you're family, and family helps family. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. Are you sure? I'm sure, Alton confirmed, but I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me that after this is all over, you'll be part of my life. Really part of it. Family dinners, holidays, everything. I don't want this to be the only reason we know each other. Marcus laughed through his tears. I promise, although I should warn you, I'm terrible at Monopoly. Perfect, Alton grinned. So am I. When Alton finally went home that night, it was past midnight. He found Rachel sitting on the living room couch, still awake, her eyes red from crying. Alton, she stood up immediately. You're home. I'm home, he confirmed. They stood there for a moment, the weight of the past few days hanging between them. I saw Marcus again tonight, Alton said. We talked. Really talked. How is he? Rachel asked. He's good, funny. I like him. Alton paused. I'm going to donate my kidney. Rachel's hand flew to her mouth. Alton, are you certain? I am, he said. Marcus is my brother. I can help him, so I will. Rachel moved toward him cautiously. I'm so proud of you. But we need to talk about us, Alton continued, his voice firm. About what you did. Rachel nodded, tears forming again. I know. You lied to me, Rachel. For months. You made me think terrible things. You broke my trust. I know, Rachel whispered, and I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you. I understand why you did it, Alton said. I do. You were trying to protect me from an impossible decision. But in doing so, you hurt me more than any decision could have. I'm so sorry, Rachel sobbed. I was so wrong. I should have trusted you to handle the truth. Alton opened his arms, and Rachel fell into them, crying against his chest. I love you, she said over and over. I love you so much. I love you too, Alton said, holding her tight. But we have a lot of work to do to rebuild what was broken. I'll do anything, Rachel promised. Counseling, therapy, whatever you need. Good, Alton said, because we're going to need it. They held each other for a long time, the first step in healing their wounded marriage. The surgery was scheduled for the following Tuesday. Alton underwent all the necessary tests and was confirmed as a perfect match for Marcus. The doctor said the odds of success were excellent. The night before the surgery, Alton's mother visited the hospital. She had been shocked when Alton told her about Marcus, but quickly embraced the idea of a second son. She sat by Marcus's bedside, telling him stories about his father, filling in the blanks that his own mother's death had left. Your father would be so proud of both of you, she said, holding Marcus's hand while her other hand rested on Alton's shoulder. Early Tuesday morning, Alton and Marcus were prepped for surgery. As they wheeled Alton's gurney past Marcus's room, Alton called out, See you on the other side, brother. See you on the other side, Marcus called back, his voice full of emotion. The surgery took 6 hours. Rachel and Alton's mother sat in the waiting room the entire time, barely speaking, both lost in prayer and worry. When the surgeon finally emerged, he was smiling. The transplant was a success. Both patients are in recovery and doing well. Rachel collapsed in relief, and Alton's mother hugged her tightly. 3 days later, Alton woke up in his hospital room feeling sore but alive. A nurse helped him into a wheelchair, and Rachel wheeled him down the hall to Marcus's room. Marcus was sitting up in bed, looking better than Alton had ever seen him. "Brother!" he called out when Alton entered. "Brother," Alton replied, grinning despite the pain. "How are you feeling?" Marcus asked. "Like someone took an organ out of my body," Alton joked, "but it was worth it." "I don't know how to thank you," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved my life, Alton. You barely knew me, and you saved my life." "That's what brothers do," Alton said simply. Over the next few weeks, both men recovered. Alton returned home after a week, and Marcus was released a few days later. Rachel had prepared the guest room for Marcus to stay with them during his recovery, despite Alton's initial protests. "He has nowhere else to go," Rachel argued. "His apartment is a third-floor walk-up. He can't climb stairs yet. He's staying here, Alton." And she was right. Having Marcus in the house during recovery brought the brothers closer. They watched movies together, played video games, and talked about everything: their father, their lives, their dreams for the future. Rachel watched the bond between them grow with a mixture of joy and guilt. One night, after Marcus had gone to bed early, she and Alton sat on the back porch. "I really messed up, didn't I?" Rachel said quietly. "You did," Alton agreed, "but I understand why now. Seeing how complicated this all was, how many emotions and decisions were involved, I get why you struggled with telling me." "Does that mean you forgive me?" Rachel asked hopefully. Alton took her hand. "I'm working on it. Forgiveness isn't instant, Rachel, but I see the effort you're making. The therapy sessions, the honesty, the way you've welcomed Marcus into our home. It means something." "I'll keep trying," Rachel promised. "Every day, I'll keep trying to earn back your trust." 3 months later, Marcus moved into his own apartment, one with an elevator. He had returned to school, finishing the degree his illness had interrupted. He video called Alton every day, came to their house for Sunday dinners, and integrated himself into their lives so naturally it felt like he had always been there. If you're still watching at this point, drop a comment with, "I'm enjoying this story." Let's see who's truly following this beautiful story. One evening, Alton and Rachel invited Kevin, Alton's mother, and Marcus over for a special dinner. As they all sat around the table, laughing and sharing stories, Alton looked around at his family, expanded now, more complex, but stronger for it. "I want to propose a toast," Alton said, standing up with his wineglass. Everyone quieted and raised their glasses. "6 months ago, my world fell apart," Alton began. "I thought I was losing my wife. I thought my marriage was over. I was angry, hurt, and lost." Rachel looked down, tears forming. "But what I didn't know," Alton continued, "was that I was actually gaining something precious. I gained a brother." He looked at Marcus, who smiled. "I gained a deeper understanding of what love really means, and I gained perspective on what's truly important in life." "Family," Marcus said. "Family," Alton confirmed. "Not just blood family, but the family we choose, the family we fight for, and the family we're willing to sacrifice for." He turned to Rachel. "You made a mistake, a big one, but you did it out of love, and watching you work every day to rebuild my trust, to be honest and open, to support both Marcus and me through recovery, it's shown me who you really are." Rachel wiped her eyes. "So, this toast is to second chances," Alton said, "to forgiveness, to brotherhood, and to the messy, complicated, beautiful thing we call family." "To family," everyone echoed, clinking their glasses. After dinner, as everyone was leaving, Marcus pulled Alton aside. "Thank you," he said, "not just for the kidney, but for everything, for accepting me, for bringing me into your life, for being my brother." "Thank you for existing," Alton replied. "I never knew I was missing something until I found you." That night, as Alton and Rachel lay in bed, Rachel turned to him. "Do you really forgive me?" Alton thought for a moment. "I think I'm getting there. Some days are harder than others, but yeah, I think I'm finally getting there." That's all I can ask for, Rachel said, snuggling close to him. Although, Alton added, if you ever keep another secret this big from me, I'm eating all your chocolate ice cream. Rachel laughed, the first genuine joyful laugh Alton had heard from her in months. Deal. 1 year later, Alton stood in front of a room full of people at the hospital's donor appreciation event. He had been asked to speak about his experience donating a kidney. When I first found out I had a brother, Alton began, I was shocked, angry even, not at him, but at the situation. I was angry that I'd been lied to, angry that I had to make such a huge decision so quickly, angry that life could be so complicated. The audience listened attentively. But here's what I learned, Alton continued. Life is complicated. People make mistakes, even when they're trying to help. And sometimes, the hardest decisions we make turn out to be the best ones. He looked over at Marcus, who sat in the front row next to Rachel and Alton's mother. Donating my kidney to my brother was scary. The surgery, the recovery, the uncertainty, all of it was terrifying. But you know what's more terrifying? Knowing you had the power to save someone's life and choosing not to use it. Several people nodded in agreement. Marcus isn't just my brother now, Alton said. He's my best friend. He's part of my family in every sense of the word. And I get to watch him live his life, achieve his dreams, and be happy, all because I made a choice to help. He paused, looking at Rachel, whose eyes were filled with tears. So, my advice to anyone considering becoming a donor is this. Don't let fear stop you from doing something extraordinary. Yes, there are risks. Yes, it's a big decision. But the reward, saving a life, creating a bond, becoming someone's hero, it's worth every moment of doubt. The room erupted in applause. After the event, as Alton, Rachel, and Marcus walked to their car, Marcus threw his arm around Alton's shoulders. Thanks for the shout-out, bro. Anytime, bro, Alton replied, grinning. Rachel walked beside them, watching her husband and his brother, and smiled. Yes, she had made mistakes. Yes, the path to this moment had been rocky and painful. But looking at the two brothers now, laughing and teasing each other, she knew that somehow everything had worked out exactly as it was supposed to. That night, Alton found Rachel in their bedroom, looking at old photos. What are you doing? He asked. Looking at pictures from our wedding, Rachel said, remembering when things were simpler. Alton sat beside her. Simpler isn't always better. No? Rachel looked at him. No, Alton confirmed. Our life is messy now, complicated. We have more people to worry about, more relationships to maintain, more challenges to face. But it's richer too, more meaningful. I love you, Rachel said, even more than I did on our wedding day. I love you too, Alton replied, and I forgive you, Rachel, completely. Rachel let out a sob of relief and joy. Really? Really, Alton confirmed, pulling her into his arms. We've been through hell and back this year, but we came out stronger. Our marriage is stronger. We're stronger. Thank you, Rachel whispered. Thank you for not giving up on us. Never, Alton promised. We're in this together, always. 2 years after the surgery, Alton and Rachel welcomed their first child, a baby girl they named Hope. Marcus was there in the delivery room waiting area with Alton's mother and Kevin, pacing nervously. When Alton emerged to announce Hope's arrival, Marcus was the first to hug him. Congratulations, brother. I'm an uncle. You are, Alton confirmed, grinning widely, and you're going to be the best uncle ever. True to Alton's word, Marcus became a fixture in Hope's life. He babysat, attended every birthday party, and spoiled his niece outrageously. When Hope was old enough to talk, her first sentence after Mama and Dada was, Uncle Mark. On Hope's third birthday, the whole family gathered at Alton and Rachel's house for a celebration. As Alton watched Hope blow out her candles with Marcus helping her, he felt a tap on his shoulder. It was Rachel. Can you believe it's been 5 years since that night? Since you followed me to the hospital? 5 years, Alton marveled. Feels like a lifetime ago. Are you happy? Rachel asked. With how everything turned out? Alton looked around the room. His mother was laughing with Kevin. Marcus was helping Hope open presents. Their home was filled with love, laughter, and family. "I'm more than happy," Alton said, pulling Rachel close. "I'm grateful. Grateful for every moment, every challenge, every blessing." "Even the 3 a.m. phone calls?" Rachel teased. "Especially the 3 a.m. phone calls," Alton replied. "Because they led us here. To this moment, this family, this beautiful, messy, perfect life." Rachel kissed him. "I love our beautiful, messy, perfect life." "Me too," Alton agreed. "Me too." As the party continued around them, Alton reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. The secrets, the lies, the pain, the forgiveness, and ultimately, the love that had prevailed through it all. He had learned that families aren't perfect, marriages aren't perfect, people aren't perfect. But when you choose to love despite the imperfections, when you choose to forgive despite the hurt, and when you choose to sacrifice for the people you care about, that's when you discover what truly matters. Marcus caught Alton's eye across the room and raised his glass in a silent toast. Alton raised his own glass in return. To brotherhood, to second chances, to the mysterious ways life brings people together, and to 3 a.m. phone calls that change everything. Thank you so much for sticking with this incredible journey from beginning to end. If this story touched your heart, moved you, or kept you on the edge of your seat, please show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more amazing stories like this. And don't forget to drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what you thought about this emotional roller coaster. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continue creating the content you love. Until next time, stay blessed, cherish your loved ones, and remember, sometimes the biggest mysteries in life lead to the greatest blessings.